Our speeches today are from across the villas, Middle School West Auckland, Sands and now Hobson Middle School. We hope you will enjoy the speeches. Our first speech is from Florence Akaloa on gender stereotypes from our Hobson Middle School.
Sugar and spice and everything nice, that's what little girls are made of. Or is it? What does it mean to be a girl? Am I defined by the color pink? A tube of lip gloss and a pair of high heels? Should I pull out a sewing kit, bake some cupcakes, and do the washing? I believe that these gender stereotypes do not define who I am. My name is Florence Akaloa. I'm an 11-year-old girl, and I'm here to tell you what defines who I am. When I was little, I used to dress up as Spider-Man literally every day. Okay, not every day. Sometimes I would be Batman. I hated wearing dresses, I've never liked Barbie, and my favorite color was definitely not pink. I loved to play sports, have sword fights, and race around the playground. Some of the girls wanted me to play fairies and skip around trees. I mean, what kind of boring game is that? Anyways, because I acted differently, kids would tease me and say I wasn't a real girl. That's when I first realized I was different. Well, according to them, anyways. Now that I'm older, I realize a lot of people think I'm different. I don't fit the mold of what they think a real girl is. I don't fit the gender stereotype. First of all, where do these gender stereotypes come from? I believe it starts before you even take our first breath. Our parents find out our gender at a scan, and next thing you know, they start decorating the nursery pink or blue. I'm pretty sure that no baby girl born enters the world demanding a pink blanket. No, we as little girls are told by every aspect of society that we love pink. Every ad on TV, every toy out in the store, every person that sees us and tells us what a pretty little princess we are. You don't hear them saying, wow, you're such a strong, smart daughter. As we grow older, we're slapped even more labels. Pretty, beautiful, quiet, emotional, sweet, sensitive, dramatic, even fat. All of these labels blind us, covering our eyes and smothering our heart. So we begin to lose sight of who we really are. When we look in the mirror, we are wounded, injured by society's bullets. Every single person has been shot. These are bullets we just can't dodge. I mean, does it really matter if a girl wants to play with cars and trucks? Maybe one day she'll grow up to be an awesome mechanic. But what about little boys playing with dolls? At least we know he might be a loving and kind dad when he's older. So, what about my future? Well, I want to change the world. I want to go down in history. Don't we all? Well, if the past is anything to go by, my chances of that are small, mainly because I'm a girl. History was written about men by men, with little or no regard for women. You think maybe that's the reason it's called his story and not her story? Well, I believe it should be called our story. Malala Yousafzai, Dame Fiona Cooper, Kate Shepherd, Jean Batten, Valerie Adams. These are amazing women who broke and challenged the mold society created for them. Life is short, and we must not waste it. We are here to discover who we really are, and not allow society to do it for us. Girl, boy, or other gender, you should be who you want, believe what you want, love who you want, without being judged, criticized, or hurt for. What I believe is that our body is only one part of who we are. Think about our body like a vehicle. Our soul, the driver, life, the road. We get in the driver's seat, buckle up, and get ready for the journey. I don't want to be restricted by the car I drive, nor the body I was born in. Yes, I am a girl, but that does not define everything about who I am. I have unique talents, abilities, thoughts, and ideas. I am more than what you see on the outside, and more than how you think I should act. Gender stereotypes are designed to separate and categorize us, simply based on the body we were born into. Until we break these stereotypes, we will never fully realize the untapped potential in every little princess. As for me, I know my potential. I know my worth. This little princess will slay the dragon, rescue herself from the tower, and definitely go down in the history books.
Next up, we have Paige from South Auckland Middle School with her speech on suicide. Suicide is the one mistake you won't live to regret. Imagine you stand on top of a mountain, thinking about all the negatives that has occurred in your life, and you think, the only way to escape this is by taking your life. You feel as if you don't belong here, so you start thinking to end your life with the blade of a knife. You feel that no one loves or cares for you, so your thoughts become negatively stronger. You feel alone and start to get agitated by everyone and everything. You feel as if you're on a horror movie that never ends. You feel as if you need someone to pull you from that dark side, but the only possible way to get to the other side is by ending your life. Your depression becomes stronger, and you wish you had a shoulder to cry right at that very moment, so you start thinking to yourself, I'm done. I'm over this being bullied. I'm over this being abandoned. I'm over this for not being accepted for who I truly am. While standing on the edge of the mountain, I silently say my last goodbyes and take that leap. No one will wish that upon a person or want that to happen to anyone, no matter how much you want someone. I know that if you share your experiences, it can help you in several ways just to get all the difficulties off your back and the hurt you've been carrying around. Just let loose on everything that's been holding you back. It not only helps you, but it also helps others to gain confidence and to know that you're not in this alone. Most people have suicidal thoughts or feelings at some point in their lives. I know people in this room here are all struggling, so we have the chance to help these people in need who are suffering from depression. I can't say that I've been through what anyone else has been through in the past and present, but all I can say is I've shared the same experiences in my life, and it took a big toll on my life because it not only affected that person, but it also affected the people around them, the people who love, care, and cherish them. This quote that I'm about to say always inspires me to get back up when things get tough, because I know that each and every one of us here today can achieve the impossible. This was once said by Albert Einstein. Eventually all the pieces fall into place. Until then, laugh at the confusion, live for the moment, and know that everything happens for a reason. Just know that you are loved, you're significant, you matter. Thank you. Our next speech is from Lee, and is about Takureo. And judges, this speech is in Maori, so we've got Mr. Hawaii, did I say that right? To translate it for you right okay. So please come on up, Lee.
E tipu e rea mo ngā rā o Tokyo. Diamond days distant for me. Ko o kuringa ki te rākau a te Pākehā, hei oranga mō tōku tinama. My hands to the tools of our Western society to provide sustenance for the welfare of my body. Ko tōku ngākau ki ngā taonga, hei tiki tiki mō tōku tinama. My heart to the treasures of my ancestors as endowments for my brow. Ko tōku wairua ki tōku atua nāna nei mea katoa. My soul to God whom things belong. Whangatoa te timonga, wairua te awa, tinama te waka, te raro te iwi. Ko tōku kaupapa kōrero te rāna e hei whakamarama hei aha ai te tū. Whakehihi ana ao e runga i tōku mana maunga. E toru o ka kaupapa whiti mō tēnei rau. Tuatahi, ko tōku I Waimarie ki ngā ahenga o te apunga reorua. Tuarua, ko tōku hiahia ki tautoko e whakarau oratanga o te reo mori. Tuatoru, ko taku whakehihi ana ki tōku ahurea mori. Kaupapa tuatahi, he awhina noi tōku reo mori. E ao e ako ana, hei kaunga ake ngā akoranga ke akoranga mehe mea. Kau whai maramatanga au e roto I ngā reo e roa. Tōku reo tōku roho. My language is my awakening. Kaupapa tōru. He tūmanako nuku ki te tautoko e whakarau oratanga o te reo Māori. Whakatūtuki au e tēnei mā te aki me te whakako e te reo Māori. Ko tōku whānau ki oku roa ki tōku hapu otira te whānau e te whānau. Mā tō raurau, mā tōku raurau, ka ora ao e te iwi. With your contribution and my contribution, our language will stay alive. Kaupapa tuatoru. Ko tōku whakehihi ki tōku ahurea. Ki whakatinanatanga, ao mō tōku iwi. Hei konohi ao mō oku tipuna e kawe ana ngā taonga tōku iho, he taonga e nei e puriri tata ana ki tōku ngāko. Hei tikanga ao ngā kōrero rangirui nā Nelson Mandela. Hei whakapani e aku kaupapa kōrero ana. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to a man in his own language, it goes to his heart. Ki te kōrero koe ki te tangata I roto I te reo marama ana ai ka titira ki te raki. Ki kōrero koe I tangata I roto tōna ake reo ki te titikia ki te whakamana. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou.
Auckland Middle School with her speech on global change. Although we constantly say that we're not just another number of the millions of people stuck in the falling revolving door that is our society, it is often never that simple, and most of the time it's never the case. And although I hate myself being just as basic as the next girl, it's my own fault. Because as much as we slam society for our insecurities, our mental disorders, and our ever-increasing amount of teen suicide, we are the people that make up society. We are the only ones that can change it. In life, we are led to believe that we can only succeed if we're pretty, and our jawlines are sharp, our eyebrows are on fleek, our Instagram photos are just the same as everyone else's, and our Snapchat stories consist of super edited photos that don't even look like us. And when you're stuck in this mindset, you're stuck in the false reality of our society. You're stuck in the dysfunctional comfort that our society provides for us. We are engulfed in the flames, and we're engulfed by the false sense of comfort that our dysfunctional society provides for us, because it's easier to conform than it is to be judged. All of these issues have come to us as a harvest from planting the wrong seeds into the mindful gardens of our youth. All of these issues have come to us because of decisions we have made.
only ones that can be blamed for this. We're the only ones drowning in the waters of our fallen society. One day, our dysfunctional society will fall, but until that day, we are just numbers, day by day adding fuel to the fire. With every meaningless YouTuber we worship, every Kardashian selfie we like, and every Instagram model that we comment goals under their seemingly perfect photos of their seemingly perfect lives. With all of these actions, we are subconsciously adding sticks to the bonfire of our fallen society, because we're blinded by the smoke until we're led to the flames and burnt. And once we are burnt by the flames, we can't come out without scars. So as we go about our everyday lives and blame other people for our issues and other people for the problems with the world, we need to realise that we are the ones that have created the water for us to drown. We are the ones that can tame the monsters because we are the ones who created it. We need to make a change in ourselves before we can expect to see a change in the world. We need to change the way we think before we can expect others to change the way they think. We need to leave the revolving doors, leaving behind only a path for others to follow in our footsteps. We as a generation can be the revolutionaries of tomorrow. We can shine light into the darkness of people's lives. We can be the change that we wish to see in our fallen society. But it all starts with breaking away from the normal. It all starts with being different and being bold and being proud. It all starts with finding the courage within ourselves to be a little bit different. So we must go on remembering that courage isn't always a roar, and courage can be the tiny whisper at the end of the day saying, I'm going to keep on going tomorrow. So be different, break away from the crowd, and be proud of who you are.
From Middle School West Auckland on reflections on Middle School West Auckland.
Hi, I'm Hennessy, and I stand here on behalf of the recruiting teams. We were lost and confused. We were all brand new. Many were unknown, knowing nobody at all. Only thing in common was getting lost in the hall. We had come into the school with some pretty bad thoughts, but once we fell, we came together and started out small. Middle School West Auckland began at the beginning of the 2015 school year with a bang. I was not here, but in a matter of days, the school had lost its first academic manager and principal of Remu. Needless to say, it was a difficult beginning for all students and all teachers. The year was a big year for all of us. We created something great out of something that really was nothing at all to begin with. As Mr. Russ said before he left, we came in as strangers, and now we'll leave as family. Middle school doesn't only make great memories out of all of us, but it also creates family, and for that I'll forever be grateful. How Middle School came to be is a fantastic story. The vision of Mr. Paul and the Villa Education Trust has been realised for the individuals who are here today. You, the people who have enabled this vision to come true. Despite the humble beginnings, we have created unforgettable memories, and we have formed a bond that grows more and more untouchable as the days pass by. I came to the school midway through the year, and I wasn't in a good place, emotionally or spiritually. Middle school saved me. I wouldn't have admitted this earlier on in the year, but before I came here, I was done with thinking about my future and what it was that the world had set out for me. And I figured, who needs an education anyway? But middle school is the kind of school that teaches you to love what you learn. And for me, I think that's one of the greatest qualities anyone can possess. Middle school has taught me to define myself the way that I choose to, and dream big, something I was never able to do before I arrived here. My happiest memory here was when we built a car. It took us ages to do, but the outcome was absolutely incredible. The first person to drive it was also the last. Jaden was at the wheel and had 2 passengers in the back. It was going great, until he went downhill and flipped over a fence. Our class showed great love, bravery and teamwork when Destiny jumped in front of the car and stopped it from injuring the people that were inside it. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Metzger for taking a chance on me when no one else was, and seeing something that I'd stopped looking for within myself, and as a result of this, I'd stopped showing. I'd also like to thank Mr. Fennick for helping me discover my zest, thanking Ms. Young for always being here when I needed to be, and thank you to Adrian, my school auntie, for always encouraging and supporting me to be the best person that I can be. I'd also like to acknowledge the rest of middle school children, for if I hadn't found you, I would never have discovered myself. Thank you for helping me find myself again. If there is one thing that I want you to leave the school with, I'd want you to leave with a sense of happiness. And I can guarantee you that despite anything that may happen next year, I promise that you will. Middle school, yes, it's a school. I know for some of you who won't admit this, but the school is pretty cool, full of happy memories that we play in our heads just like documentaries. But to put this into a brief summary, all I can say is the school changed my life. The school saved me. The school taught me to struggle. And for those of you that have dreams, I encourage you to make them come alive. Thank you.
Have you ever thought about where you want to go in life and what you want to achieve to get to your dream job? Well, it's time to start thinking out. Put aside all the moments growing about how much work your teachers are giving you and start to overcome the negatives of it all. The tired days and relaxing in class, talking away when you could be learning. Some point in life you will soon regret. If you don't start to push yourself now and put in place goals and standards to allow you to evaluate and get you where you need to be, you will struggle and find it much harder than it really is. Ask yourself, why wait when you can start now? Why sit back and watch others succeed when you could be joining them? Motivate yourself for the better, aim high and push for that excellence. Because just if you drop, you will always have those merits or possibly achieve to fall back on. Even if you are struggling, set aside steps because later on you will realize that they have turned out to have helped you more than you thought or even imagined. Value yourself. Take pride in what you do. Example. Reality is, teens nowadays are getting hickeys. This is an element that takes over who you are as a person and also sometimes even character-wise. People start to see you differently and valuing yourself then becomes unseen. It can also affect you more than you thought it would, meaning physically, socially, spiritually, mentally, and most definitely emotionally. When these 5 components affect you, it makes it harder for you to achieve the things that you must achieve. Inspiration. If you find it hard to settle yourself, find an inspiration. A person who inspires you to want to work hard and be that person you want to be. A person who is filled with positive ideas and thinks ahead. Don't think in the moment, because sometimes it's not always a good thing. You will slack and only think about what you want to achieve other than what you need to achieve in the time being. Surround yourself with the right people, because the people you hang with, you become like. Even if it means isolating yourself from those who are a disturbance or distraction. Being inspired can make you an inspiration to others, meaning more people push you to get to their dream and taking the opportunity to start pushing themselves. A backup plan. Always have a backup plan or 2, maybe even 3, because if you don't succeed in one, you will always make it into one of the others. Start involving yourself around the subjects that will help you achieve your goals in order to get you where you want to be. Always think about the outcome and not the income of the situation. It all starts now. Shut all the talking up and start turning on those diesel fuels, because it's important to start thinking while you're young so that it's easier for you when you're older. Start using your study time instead of mucking around and talking about your weekends. Stay focused, motivated, and inspired. Be that person. Find a way through it and stop finding the way around it. Up next we have Ina from Middle School West Auckland on Ocean Middle School. Imagine you're living in a small island village, going on with your daily life. And suddenly, you notice your garden has disappeared under the waves. That's what the people of Kiribati are experiencing right now. But it's not just gardens that are disappearing under the ocean. It's houses as well. And all of this is to be blamed on the ocean levels rising. People of small island nations are among the first to be affected by the ocean levels rising. Some islands in the Republic of Kiribati have already been swallowed by the rising ocean. Today, Flooding on Kiribati regularly kills crops, contaminates drinking water, and floods homes. The two major causes of the sea levels rising are thermal expansion, caused by the warming of the oceans since water expands as it's heated, and the loss of land-based ice, like glaciers and ice sheets, because of increased melting due to global warming. These two problems are connected, because if the ice melts, then there is nothing to reflect the sun's rays from the water. You're probably wondering, how does that affect New Zealand? I can give you at least 3 examples. 1, it will contaminate our drinking water. As the sea cools further and further up the shores, it will seep into fresh water sources that many coastal areas rely on for their drinking water. These underground sources, called aquifers, hold most of fresh water on Earth. 2, our soil purity. Salt water hitting our shores will change the chemistry of the soil on the coast, meaning the plant life there will likely change as well. Some plants will simply be unable to grow in the salinized soil, so some native animals will be left with no source of food. 3, it will threaten marine animal populations. Lots of species of fish, mammals, and invertebrates will be forced to migrate. Cold water species will look for cooler, deeper, or higher latitude waters, while warm water species will move to places that used to be too cold for survival. Predator animals such as polar bears will starve because its prey will migrate to places that are colder, and the polar bears will not be able to follow, therefore will be left with no source of food. Some are now even resorting to cannibalism because of the lack of prey. So that raises a question. Is there anything we can do to stop the ocean levels rising? As it turns out, there is hope. Reducing our greenhouse emissions will help slow the rate of the sea levels rising. But at this point, because of how deep we've come into the problem, it's unlikely we could stop the rising altogether. Organised politicians such as Greenpeace are working to stop the use of fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gases. Recently, the famous actor Leonardo DiCaprio released a documentary called Before the Flood. It highlights the negatives concerning climate change. He released the documentary completely for free on Facebook and YouTube. It helps raise awareness about global warming and how emissions created by larger countries affect smaller nations that have nothing to do with the emissions that are creating global warming, like Kiribati. I believe that our generation can make small changes that will make a big difference to the future of this planet, starting with something as simple as 1, reduce our rubbish. 2, choose fruit over snacks that come in packaging. 3, use reusable bags, not plastic bags, because the fumes that create these products go into the atmosphere and affect the ocean. Thank you for listening to my speech.
Absolutely extraordinary. And I was just talking to Mrs. Moffat, who has been an English teacher for 20 years, and she actually works at a very high level in the Education Review Office, testing and inspecting schools up and down New Zealand. And she said the standard here is absolutely extraordinary. And Simon and I spent hours and hours of our lives sitting in Parliament listening to some of the worst speeches that you've ever seen. If you ever want to see overpaid, poorly spoken people, come to Parliament. Except for Simon and except for me, of course. But the speeches we saw today were everybody for giving their speeches, and I've made some comments about each one on the judging sheet that I'd like to give each of you. But sadly, in the nature of competition, there can only be one winner, and there can only be 3 third, second, and first places. And so, the third place winner, I want to give a big hand for an inspiring, heartfelt, inspirational speech, Be the Change by Rachel Catherine. Actually, stay up here, we're line. And then the next speech, I was a member of the Kiwi Conservation Club, and I think science is so important. I think what all of the middle schools do in science projects is one of the best things about the school. So we're really pleased to see a speech that is all about one of the most important scientific issues that was well researched and presented a lot of scientific fact. And so you can probably guess that the judges decided to give second place to Una Van Dalen on but there was one speech that is extraordinary, and Simon and I were just doing our maths, thinking, how long until this girl can run for Parliament? And then I said, she's got to run for ACT, and Simon said, she's got to run for National. And then we both agreed, we really hope she doesn't run for anyone else, because we're screwing. It was just absolutely, unbelievably spectacular speech given by Francis Nicola. Congratulations.
Unfortunately, the speech competition is over, but for those who don't know me, I'm Simon, and I just want to say to all of you who are part of the village, hold on, we're on the speaking matter. Right, just want to say that you are part of an amazing school network. I just want to say to you all as students, thank you for being part of today. I think it's really important to support one another, so that you've taken time out to come and support your fellow classmates here today is really, really important. And to the teachers and to the families who are here, thank you. To all of you guys who spoke this morning, absolutely fantastic. It's a really hard job actually as judges to try and reduce it to just 3. But I want to say to all of you, thank you so much. David is quite right. In Parliament you spend a lot of time having very strange people talking to you. And today it was just an absolute delight to sit there and hear you passionately talk about subjects really close to your heart. And thank you too for bringing another language to it as well. It's wonderful to hear the Reo being spoken so fluently, and the switch between English and Māori is just tremendous. Anytime I try to speak Maori, I find myself speaking in Fijian, which confuses everybody. But look, to all of you, thank you and congratulations. To Mr. Paul and the team, thanks so much. It's an absolute privilege to be here. And I'm going to stop talking, because one of the problems is that you've been sitting in these pews for a long time. And if I know anything about churches, and I do, they're not that comfortable. But thank you again, guys. Wonderful speeches.
Last thing is from me. So, thank you, team. And I appreciate hometown Week, which happened last year at middle school West Auckland, where Peter Carwell and I had to speak win last year. It's a huge challenge to South Auckland Middle School for next year, because I know that Middle School West Auckland and Auckland Middle School will be tuning up with bells on. Thank you so much, Guy. You are very highly respected by our trust, and I'm not sure if we can call someone who's worked for educating the office a friend of the trust, but not that professional, but you are highly respected and we appreciate your association with you. Thank you, Simon. Some of you will know that Mr. O'Connor is marrying into the trust on the 10th of December this year. And so to Rachel and Simon, this might be one of the few opportunities we get to wish you all the best for that day. It's not very far away now. So,
Can we do a wedding rehearsal here?
we could just do it now.
Oh, great. Rachel.
And today, to Mr. Seymour, thank you so much for coming along today. And we acknowledge publicly here today your support for our trust and for a policy that's making a difference to young people. So very much appreciate it. Thank you. There might be a few moments just at the end. It might start